as Walter makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Davies Ass totally stranded.
Hello, dear listener, and welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland, the podcast that is never knowingly on time for anything. I'm a little bit late because my mum's here and she's grounded me. But that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about my mum and telling me off, even though I'm 52 years old. I've been a good boy, haven't I, Mum?
No.
Oh, she's got me in it. With me to talk about Arsenal v Manchester City is Stan, the man from sunny Canada. What's the weather like, Stan?
It's a little bit overcast and a little bit chilly here today in Vancouver. But hello, Danny, and hello, everyone.
Right, good. Let's get straight into it, Stan. The lineups: in goal, Ramsdale; right back, Tomiyasu. So that means Ben White has been dropped. Centre back, Saliba and Gabriel; left back, Zinchenko; central midfield part of Jorginho in the Partey position. Partey isn't even on the bench. Xhaka in the Xhaka role with Odegaard slightly ahead of him, and a front three of Martinelli left, Saka on the right, and Eddie and Nketiah up front. And the subs are goalkeeper Turner, centre-back White, left-back Tierney, centre-back Kiwior, centre-back Holding, Vieira, Teabag, we don't know where he plays, Trossard, Nelson, and Cozier Dewberry making up the numbers. Stan, what do you think about that lineup?
Well, I'm surprised he's made changes because I think I was under the impression that Mikel Arteta was loath to make any changes to his first 11 if he didn't have to. And I think a lot of the fan base were hoping for a few more changes. I saw people talking about perhaps Tierney coming in for Zinny and perhaps Trossard coming in for either Martinelli or Nketiah. But I'm not surprised. I'm actually surprised that he's gone with Tomiyasu and he hasn't kept to his favoured 11.
Why do you reckon he's dropped Ben White? I mean, people have been complaining that he's not been himself lately. But do you think it was a good job to drop him? Because out of the two of them, I think Ben White is probably the better defender. But going forward, it's Tomiyasu is the one that is going to go forward and create stuff. Although Ben White has done that in the past before anybody moans. So which do you think is the best right back? Or do you think it depends from game to game? Because we are going to get a game of football out of Man City. They're not going to come part of the bus and do an Everton, are they? It's going to be a slobber knocker of a game.
Well, there's been a feeling that some of our players have been looking a little bit jaded or a little bit leggy. You know, in some of our most recent games. So, you know, I'm a little bit surprised. I actually feel that if we were going to make changes, the changes probably should have been made in the previous game, so that we could try and get the first 11, you know, it's a little bit rested. Who needs to be changed so that everybody's ready to go for this one. But as I mentioned earlier, I just think that Mikel is a little bit loath to make changes if he doesn't have to. But you run the risk of burning some players out because it's a young team.
It is a young team. What's your thoughts on playing up front? Because Eddie is really struggling at the moment. He had I said he had two touches of the ball in one of the previous podcasts. I'd misread it. He had 2 shots and he had 22 touches of the ball in the game against Brentford, I think it was. Are you worried about Eddie up front? Do you think maybe it's time, because that's 9 consecutive games he has started now? And some people are suggesting that, he's not really doing it well enough because we have got virtually no threat up front, have we? Which means today he's going to score a hat-trick.
Well, yeah, I think he's done very well since he's came in. He hasn't put the ball in the back of the net for the last couple of games. So he is due one, you know.
But being due one and due one against Man City are 2 completely different things, aren't they?
You've got a brace against United.
Yeah, well, they're rubbish, aren't they?
You know, but if he was going to try something else out, I just think the last game was the one to do any changes and experimenting in. Perhaps, you know, taking Eddie off 50, 60 minutes and trying somebody else through the middle to see how it works out. I just don't think he's going to make a... Then again, though, do you remember that time when he he made that really big gamble, didn't he, in a big game? Wasn't it against City as well, where he had Lacazette and Aubameyang on the bench and he played ESR as a false 9?
Don't start that. If Deke is
Remember?
listening to this, he loves that idea. Yeah, that might work. But looking at Eddie's last 7, he started the last 7 Premier League games in a row. West Ham, 1 goal. Brighton, 1 goal. Newcastle, nothing. Spurs, nothing. Man United, like you said, 2 goals. Nothing against Everton, nothing against Brentford. So he's only actually scored in 3 out of those 7 games. So do you think tonight he's going to be able to do anything? Or do you think that maybe possibly this might be the time we see Trossard playing up front? Because he's been looked really good, Trossard, when he came on for Martinelli, hasn't he? He's lively.
Well, he's already picked the team, hasn't he?
Yeah, if he wants to take Eddie off.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, he's got options, but you know, he could even put move Martinelli there, and put Trossard on the wing if he wanted to. But I just don't think so. I mean, we keep talking about Martinelli playing through the middle, but we don't see it, do we?
No,
we never see it.
No, probably never are going to see it.
It's so much. It's same as when people say things like, "What about Kiwior playing in the midfield? He's played in midfield." Or Callum Chambers, when he was with us, he can play in the midfield. And
Zinchenko playing DM.
We never see it. We never see it. He never experiments in that way. And part of me, I'm glad that he doesn't, because there's a reason why people are playing defence and not a midfield, right? Because they're not that good on the ball. Yeah. So that's why they play in defence. So. Yeah.
Let's go and have give a gentleman's wave and a nod to some of the people in the chat. Make sure I'm on the right window here. We've got Paul Nell, not Neil. Oi, oi. No Thomas, no Partey. Fingers crossed Georgie can get it done. You can wave your mug, Stan, and I'll just pretend I haven't seen it with your nice mug there, Stan. Where did you get it from?
Oh, I got it from a store on Etsy called the Gooner Shack, funnily enough.
And how's your sales going?
They're not doing too bad, actually. Not doing too bad.
Dragon's Den anytime soon?
No, I wouldn't say I'm getting. It's not going that far, but I would like to say thank you to those that have come by the shop and made a purchase. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Tom Andrew is there. Phil Macker is there. Already said hello to Bill. Colo's Used Cars is so nervous. Remember, if anybody wants a battered up Fiesta that has failed its MOT, go to colosUsedCars.com and he will sell you a car with no warranty, that the wheels will come off as soon as you drive it off the lot. Staniel back on the pod, says Paul. Sai says, so referees have successfully fucked us over. Rob says, Jorginho masterclass incoming. Bloody hope so. He's capable. Boy 10 says, we're a movie. Our season is scripted. The timing of this Partey injury. If anybody knows what the injury is, feel free to let me know. Matt Roberts.
I saw a muscle injury, but I didn't see where on his body. I didn't read through the article.
If I have a quick look at we didn't do things in the right order, people, because 5 minutes before the show started, I was hanging in the air. My mum was sticking a plaster on my ass. So, yeah, so that's why we're a little bit late. It says Partey, knock, other. Smith Rowe, thigh injury. And, Nelson's back with another thigh injury. There we go. I'll get my mother on them. You like big thighs, don't you, dear?
I certainly do.
She certainly does. Who else have we got in the chat there? So nice to see you again, Matt. Sai is saying PGMOL out. Rancid Pumpkin is there. Hello, Mr. Rancid and Mrs. Pumpkin. You've got to cover all the bases. Boy 10 says, Ben White is better defensively and on the ball. Tomiyasu is a more natural fullback movement. Yeah, I agree with that. This game will suit Eddie, says Rancid. Boy 10 says, not worried about Nketiah, more worried about our left flank because Martinelli has no one backing him up from fullback and is starting to hurt everybody else. Yeah, we've seen a lot of that with your inverted wing backs. You often see Zinchenko playing on the right side of the team, and you think, well, hold on, how's Martinelli going to do anything if he's got no one behind him? So Zinchenko needs to calm his lips, chins, feet, knees.
But if he's following instruction, if that's the instruction that he's been given to tuck in like that.
Rob says, if you drop Eddie, who do you play? Either Martinelli or Trossard. Either one of those two, because Trossard is a goal scorer. Matt D'Souza, aside from my first team issues, City have put out the side I most feared. Fuck them.
Have you seen the City side just out of interest?
No, I'd imagine it is just their best side with Haaland. Is Haaland starting?
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
I know that. I think he's travelled with the team, so all that talk about him being injured, I think, was just a red herring.
Oh, I've got no idea. I'm just scrolling frantically through Twitter to see if I can see if anyone. Oh, ginger lady, hello. See if I can find anything. Oh, here we go. Man City's lineup is Edison in goal, Des Walker somewhere, Diaz, Aki.
Des Walker.
Yeah, Rodri, Silva, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Grealish, Haaland. So that's just what we thought. So they've come to ruin the party, bastards. Mike Hertz is there.
All right, Mike.
Come on, you Gunners, says BX. Useless, pathetic noob. Tappy, lads, let's get going. Naz Osman has turned. That's been a while, Naz. All right, boys. Matt D'Souza, if we could replicate the United performance, then I'd back us to beat anyone. Sadly, I can't see that happening. Mike Hertz, muscle is his lower back. Oh, for party. Matt D'Souza, for fuck's sake, what is it with Smith Rowe and injuries? He's a growing lad. That's the problem. Jim Eves has turned up. Evening all.
Is Smith Rowe injured again?
Yeah. Thigh injury. Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was on his way back, training and stuff.
Yeah, Matt makes a good point. Muscle injury in his lower back. If this was back in the day, they'd whack a cortisone injection in him and put him out there. Bunch of softies. Get on with it, you big binge. Yes. So there's something somebody brought up there which I thought was important. Yeah. How do you think Man City are going to play? And do you think we play better against teams like Man City who come to play football? Because I personally do.
Yeah, I mean, we seem to sort of like we seem to struggle against teams that set up in low blocks and do what Everton did to us. I don't think Man City will change the way that they play for us.
It is kind of like Man City v Man City, isn't it? You could have kind of say that the way they play football.
Yeah, maybe a few weeks ago, but I just think that I'm a little bit worried about today with Thomas Partey being out.
I'm very worried,
and some of our players that have been looking jaded, you know. But then on the other side of the coin, you know, these are the games that the players should be really relishing, and you know, sometimes a player that may have had a slight dip in form will suddenly raise their game against a certain opposition. So, you know, I'm trying to find positives as well.
I'm concerned because they are a great team, but then all you have to do is look back at some of their previous games and you think, well, hold on, they're not that great. Spurs are rubbish and Spurs beat them 1-0 at Spurs. So I'm just going to go back and have a look at Man City's recent games. They lost 1-0 at Spurs. They, hold on, I'm going to go all fixtures, matches, and then Premier League, and then away. And then we'll see what their recent results are. They lost 1-0 at Spurs. They lost 2-1 at Man United. That's their last two games. They barely beat Chelsea 1-0. They went to Leeds and won 3-1. They went to Leicester and won 1-0. They went to Liverpool and lost 1-0. So 3 out of the last 6 games they've lost. And
they're not scoring a lot of goals, are they? They're not. It's all one goals.
That's the point I was about to make. I'm saying 2 of the other games they won 1-0. Meaning they got 3 against Leeds. I mean, everyone can bang in 3 goals against Leeds. So when you look at stuff like that, Spurs, begrudgingly, Spurs, Man United, and Liverpool all play proper attacking football. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Well, and they beat all 3 of them. I mean, they lost to all 3 of them. So things like that. How about people in the chat? Does that give you all a little butterfly? Does that give you butterflies in your stomach, dear? Mother?
Yes, of course.
Oh, there you go. Yes, of course. Her fault to support Arsenal. Yeah. People in the chat. Oh, does that Man City's away record in the Premier League against teams that play decent football, attacking, as God created the game, does that give you confidence that the Arsenal are going to do well tonight? Let us know what your thoughts are, and I'll read them out. Like Matt D'Souza said here, if we replicate the Man United performance, then I'd back us to beat anyone. So we said this earlier. I've read out the details, and I agree with you 103 at 13%. Matt, that's actually very, very good. Where are we down to? BX says City are going 3 at the back stand. Is that going to make any difference to us?
I mean, who knows? I mean, I haven't been nervous about a game all season because even when we go into games and we go a goal behind or we find ourselves in a bit of trouble, even at those moments, I'm not panicking because we seem to be able to dig our way out of it. But for some reason, this morning, I am nervous with this one. And I've been really looking forward to this game. But the fact that Thomas Partey is not playing, I think the stats show that when Thomas Partey's not been in the team this season, they're the games that we've lost. Or he's been taken, or he's been withdrawn early. We've gone on to then not finish the game off.
That is very true.
I'm a little bit concerned of how integral he seems to be to our success. So we'll find out today, won't we, whether the 10 million that was spent on Jorginho was a canny buy or a waste of money. It's going to be one or the other. We're going to see everything today.
This is going to be almost the ultimate test. If people want to watch it, it's on Amazon Prime Video. Which is oddly, when you watch it on Amazon Prime Video, the stream isn't that good, but you go and watch it on some hooky thing and the stream tends to be better. BBC Radio 5 Live are commentating the whole game. And Moog, pick a country in the world. There's nearly 200 of them, depending on who you ask. And I'll tell you what channel the game is on.
China.
Say that again, sorry.
Pick a country, mother.
Spain.
Spain. Oh la la, amigo. Right, Spain. Spain. If you are in Spain, it's on DAZN, and Stan picked China, and in China it is on IQIYI. They're just making this shit up, or it's on Migu, or it's on QQ Sports Live. So that's got all that out of the way.
Or they'll have the game superimposed on a huge balloon.
They will do. Our record against Man City, we've won 98, drawn 45, and they've won 63. And that is because most of the time Man City have been shit and playing in the lower leagues. Go in and have a quick look at the previous games. The last game we played against them was the 1st of January 2022 at home in the Premier League. They beat us 2-1. We scored first with Saka. They got a Mahrez penalty, and in the 90th minute, Rodri scored the winner. But they had a certain Gabriel Jesus playing for them, and they had he wasn't even on the bench, Zinchenko. Game before that was on the 21st of February 2021. Isn't it weird how this is also at home in the Premier League, and how these things always seem to be a year later? So this was almost exactly 1 year ago. They beat us 1-0. Raheem Sterling scored in the 2nd minute, and they had Zinchenko started for them, and Jesus was a sub who didn't come, and he did come on for Zaboyna in 63rd minute. And we only go back 3 games because other than that it gets a bit pointless. 15th of December 2019. Do you remember the before time, Stan? Dear oh dear. They came to the Arsenal and they smashed us 3-0. De Bruyne on the 2nd, Raheem Sterling 15, and then De Bruyne again on 40th minute. So all over by half time. Not interesting. And our lineup that day: Leno, Socrates, Chambers, Kolasinac, Guendouzi, Ozil, Torreira, Maitland-Niles, Pepe, Aubameyang, Martinelli. That was only 3 years ago. Because it was the end of December 2019. 3 years and 2 months. And they've all gone. And Lundberg was our manager. Oh, great days. What a time to be alive. What else was I going to do? I was going to go and see what the people in the chat are saying.
Does Stan miss London?
My mum says, do you miss London, Stan?
Not in the slightest.
No.
Mrs. Sweetman.
No.
Absolute shithole. And I'm allowed to say that because I was born there. BX Gunner, if this season has shown anything, it's that we can win this. It certainly does. Boy 10, City could say they're playing 11 in defence and they would still play like City. This is our game. We are against a team that will come to play football. These moments suit us. That, Boy 10, needs to be put on a T-shirt because they are wise words, sir. Naz Osman, Mike, not another Arsenal podcast, is expecting a 3 hours podcast tomorrow. If they turn up. Always nervous, says Phil. A massive pumpkin. We will win this for sure because anything else isn't an option. Come on, you guys. People, put your prediction in the chat and I'll highlight them and I'll save them all and bring them all up late. You can even put your first goal scorer if you want, and I'll do that. We're only going to be live for 5 more minutes. BX says, I'm pumped like an overdose of creatine. So let's go. Let's sow that. I think he means let's do this. It's all that creatine's gone to your head. Mark is there. Evening, Danny and Stan. Rancid is agreeing. Boy 10. I was looking forward to this game 3 weeks ago. Not today, though. I am
same.
Nervous. Chris,
that's how I feel.
Chris Jones. That's a name I haven't seen before. Nervous with Xhaka, Jorginho midfield. Neither of them take prisoners, though, do they? Matt Roberts, of the games I've seen this season, most of them haven't lived up to what everyone is talking about apart from the United home game. Yes. Paul Neal says, Need a big game from Xhaka. No red cards. I don't really have to worry about red cards, do we? He knows how to calm himself down. Naz says Kenya. Oh, too late. I've already picked the country. What else have we got down? Our very own Nicky Wilson says, what football is it? The Amazon Cup. Nick, you are a tit. Matt D'Souza, harsh to judge Jorginho signing on this game. Let's not automatically make him the scapegoat. We do like a scapegoat at the Arsenal, don't we, Stan? We do like to pick someone out and go, it's all your fault. And I think it's going to be on his shoulders.
Yeah, whose turn is it this week? Who was the wheel stopped on this week when we spun it?
It had been Ben White and Martinelli, hadn't it? Because
his name was picked out of the hat.
Yes. Oh, the Irish Beast is here. Come on, the Gunners. Hopefully we can exploit Ake at the back 2-1. Moog, I've got someone here called the Irish Beast. Do you know them? No. Do you want to say anything to them in Irish?
Can't think at the moment.
She can't. My mother can't think.
Oh, well.
She's not well. You're not going to die, are you?
No.
Good, because you make a mess. Nicky Wilson says 7-0 to City. Paul Nail, not Neil, says 2-2 the Arsenal. Rancid Pumpkin 2-1 Arsenal, and Saka and Trossard scoring the goals. Pete Coulson has turned up. Nice to turn up, Pete. Better late than never. My confidence has dropped to the floor. No party, no party. Colo's Used Cars, who are actually the official sponsorship of this podcast. Go to Colo's, mention ABW, and you get 110% off any cars you wish to buy. 3-1 to City. Haaland. Damn. Sire's gone 2-1 City. Phil Macker 2-0 to the Arsenal. 2 goals from Eddie just for me. Cheers, Phil. Mark Backriden has said 3-2 the Arsenal. I'll bet Danny's bed on it. My bed cost me 1,500 quid. Can't have that. Boy 10 has gone 3-2. Eddie and Nketiah hat-trick. Grealish and Rodri to score. Pete says 1-1. I'll be grateful for a point, to be honest. And says Chelsea reject, panic purchase. Nicky Wilson, Nick is a tit. How is this new news? That's not a prediction. And lots of numbers, 3-1 Man City. Naz says, guys, don't stress. We'll smash them 4-1. And I want Haaland to score and break all English goal scoring records. That'd be good. BX, 1-0 to the Arsenal. And Pete Coulson, question, with the officials trying to gift us 2 points tonight, answer, will they fuck? Yeah, we're not going to get those points, are we? Stan, what's going to be your prediction?
I'm torn between 2 scores because there's a big part of me that, and this is the first time this season doing a prediction that I'm going to bet against Arsenal. I think either 2-1 to Man City, at the very least, maybe a 1-1 draw. Because as we mentioned before, when you read through all of those previous Man City games, as we said, they're not scoring bundles of goals in a game. So 2-1 or possibly on the back of that, a 1-1 draw. Can't choose, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Mother? Don't call me mother. What's the score going to be tonight? Are Arsenal going to win, lose or draw?
Who are you playing against?
Man City. Manchester City.
It's going to be 1-1.
1-1?
Yeah.
Excellent. I am going to go with a heavy, heavy heart. Man City are going to beat us 3-0. I think we are going to absolutely shit the bed. Or we're going to beat them 1-0. I'm going with Stan. I'm going to pick 2. We're either going to score early on and then we're going to defend for our lives, or they are absolutely going to turn us over. But like someone said in the chat, the referees, like Pete said, referees do owe us 2 points. So hopefully a little bit of skullduggery and we are going to win the game. Yes. So I think that's it.
As I say, right, to Naz, yeah, this is the first time that I've really felt any kind of apprehension going into a game this season. And it's just because
of the last 2 games, isn't it?
Just because some of our players have looked a little bit leggy. And I felt that if we were going to prepare for this match, we could have maybe done a little bit of rotation in the last game and concentrate on those players out of form more in training. So I'm just feeling a little bit apprehensive. And then obviously the glaring hole in our midfield of no Thomas Partey, because he really is. Him and Odegaard are very important as the glue of the team, aren't they? In the middle of the pitch, what they both do. Both of their jobs are very important to how we get success on the pitch, I think.
Yeah, but it should hopefully be a good game. And are you doing a show after the game anywhere?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought you asked, so I didn't ask you on. It's me and Deke. Maybe I'm not trying to squeeze you on after if you want.
Yeah,
You and Deke play well together.
We do.
I think he likes you.
We often share the same sandbox.
You certainly do. So, after the game, people, it'd be me and Deke and Stan. We will be back here to celebrate Arsenal smashing Man City 6-0. Right, Stan, one quick plug for your shop because Stan can't afford to eat at the moment. And we don't get anything out of this and we don't promote it at all. I'm just being nice to Stan because we like him. Go on, Stan.
Yeah, go and check out Laguna Shack on Etsy. This one seems to be a big seller. Good for coffee, keeps it warm. Good for beer, keeps it cold. Check it out. There's going to be more stuff added quite frequently. And even if you don't buy anything, just like give the shop a follow to make it go up the charts so other people can find it. Thank you.
That's it. Right, people, we will be back 10 minutes after the game is finished because Stan and Deke will need to go and have a wee-wee, especially if we've won. Then if we've lost, they'll need to go and take some medication before they come and join us. I'm now going to frantically go and put this on iTunes and all the other wonderful places. If you're new, give it... Oh, look at Rancid Pumpkin. Great way to end the show. If you're new, give it a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe. How many thumbs up have we got already? We've got 21. And at some point, there was nearly 1 million people watching. That's not really good enough, is it? 1 million of you, and we only got that many thumbs up. Right, we're going to go. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. This is Steve and Dave saying their wonderful words. And we will see you after the game. Come on, you Gunners. Say something wise, Stan.
Come on, you Gunners. Up the Arsenal.
As soon as I scored that goal, I was fucking livid.
Get down, dog.
Splendid business.
He nearly caught the bloody thing. What are you talking about?
So I was just eating a full quiche. Well, you don't often see them at Ibs, so when you see them in the supermarket, they need to be swagged, microwaved immediately, and get the brown sauce on and bosh, Bob's your uncle.
Never in doubt.